About 20 years ago, when I turned 50, my wife and I decided we should look at where we're going to live in retirement. So we then got the map out and we drew a circle of 100k from Sydney, and we had certain criteria to meet, which was we wanted to be close to the beaches but elevated so that we could have a temperate climate with lovely views and so forth. So I went to Saddleback Mountain, which is just inland a bit from Kiama, and there were a couple of clearings I could see, and I thought, well, they're the likely places where I could have some cleared land which would face northeast, where you get the sea breezes and a nice view along the coast. In addition to that, I wanted protection from the southerly winds and the westerly winds. So we come to Nuninuna Estate, and it looked pretty good to us because we're only 10 minutes away from Kiama and the small township of Jamberoo. We drove around and we found one block of land with about 17 acres, and then there were 7 acres of rainforest. As well as that, it had some nice waterfalls. There were 3 creeks and beautiful big rocks covered with moss, and that certainly filled my bill. I always thought that I'd like to grow trees. So I thought, well, we'll give walnuts a go, and I thought we can have walnut for timber as well as for nuts. I decided to put in 6 water tanks, 1 for the house and the other 5 for the trees. And I thought, well, if we're going to do that, we might as well use 2 of them to grow trout. We selected a site at the edge of the rainforest because they needed to be shaded to keep the temperature down so that the trout can survive in cool water. When I was young at my father's place, he always had a veg patch and an orchard. And so that's what was my aim here, was to have that facility. Our next step was to look where we would build the house. And we found a spot that was level and that we could easily have a house facing to the northeast. Once we've established the position of the house, it was the style of the house. And I quite like the idea of having pavilions where you have enclosures for where my wife and I wanted to spend a lot of our quiet times, as well as an entertaining area. We realised early on that we would need help to run this place. So we converted the garage into the cottage for that purpose. We moved around a lot in my military career and never really got used to it. But 20 years down the track, we've decided to move once more, 10 kilometres from here to Kiama, so we can take advantage of the coast and the beaches. But we'll still be close to our friends in Jamberoo, but it will give us more time to be with our grandchildren down on the beach.